All right. So, welcome to another episode of the Papa Bear Show. We are getting ready to get started. As always, I love to just show what's going on in the studio before the actual production of the show. I want to just thank all the volunteers who came out to be a part of today's production. Hey, we talking about financial health, y'all. So we're going to have some experts here discussing some of the pitfalls and the challenges and the triumphs involved in creating a proper life insurance policy or a policy strategy, which most of us should have. There are a lot of wealthy people that live straight off of things like their irrevocable living trusts, and they put life insurance products in them. And today we are going to find out which life insurance are going to be for the best strategy. And it depends. It depends on your risk aversion. It depends on your age. It depends on whether or not you are planning to leave that fund as a legacy, or if you're planning to use it in your own retirement and use it actively until you pass away. Either way, there's a strategy for everybody, but we are here with one of the leading experts in Sacramento. She right back here getting prepared, and wait till you see this show, baby. Papa Bear Show. We doing season 2, episode 3. We about to do it big. Peace.
Welcome to another episode of the Papa Bear Show. I am your host, LaShanya Brazell, aka Shanya Breeze. Good evening to you all. And I am here with my handsome co-host, Imani Lucas. We hope you all are having an amazing month. Today we'll be talking about real estate with our lovely guest, Atiya Hempstead. Before we get into our story, I want to thank our sponsors, Black Fathers Inc., the California Department of Public Health, Papa Bear's Village, and United and Guided, which is our community-based nonprofit organization. I will now pass it over to my co-host, Mr. Lucas, who will give us an idea of what we will touch on in today's episode.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Breeze. And you are right. In a very small part, today's show is going to be about real estate, but it's about such a bigger picture. We're going to be talking about how insurance falls into your overall financial plan. We have a terrific guest speaker here today to just talk to us a little bit about some strategies on how everyday people can set up their life insurance strategies to create wealth, to protect themselves, even to use in retirement. So we're just real excited about what's in store.
Yes.
And, again, my name is Imani Lucas. I am the co-host to the beautiful Shanya Breeze.
Hey.
We are going to have a terrific show. But first, I want to bring you a little bit of news about what's going on in the insurance industry in general. So, Allstate. Did you know that Allstate homeowners insurance rate just increased an average of 34%, Breeze?
Yeah, that's something. That's something to talk about.
So according to ABC 7's news article written by Mark Costa Robles, this has been the largest spike in the last 3 years than any major insurer in the past 3 years combined. So there has just been increased rates along with increased inflation. We are still going into this. We'll probably continue to do this well into the next administration. This is going to be a huge political topic over the next several days leading into the election. And, there's always going to be both sides that are going to be struggling to make sure some of those rates go down. But Breeze, insurance rates 34%. That's crazy. That's worse than credit card insurance rates at 25.
A lot of factors play into it. We have a lot of, there's been a lot of floods and disasters. But like I said, I feel like, again, I was talking about this earlier. We have the little joys that fly over your house, kind of intrusive, checking out, looking for fraud, suspecting fraud. And that's probably why these insurance rates are increasing, which makes no sense because it just puts you at a disadvantage as a homeowner. You don't know what to do. They just hit you with those rates. It's either or not. You can't even really fight and say, no, I don't think so, or get a fair shake with it. So it sucks that is happening. Yes.
Absolutely. And I know that this, when property insurance might not be the forte, Miss Hempstead, but when you talk about life insurance, do those rates tend to go up as well when you see inflation?
No, life insurance rates are actually based on the individual's health and their age.
I love it.
So it's kind of two separate lanes.
I see. Okay. So there are a lot of different factors that get involved in that.
Yes.
So, this is a great segue into my esteemed guest, Miss Atiya Hempstead, who is a business owner of one of the longest standing places in Oak Park, a place that myself and Miss Shania Breeze frequent to this day. But, she is here to talk a little bit about her life as a financial services professional. And, she has a lot of great knowledge for us today. But first, I want to just talk a little bit about you. First, welcome very much, and thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be here. My name is Atiya Hempstead. I am a licensed financial professional. I am the acting manager of one of the longest standing Black-owned bars and restaurant in Sacramento, Playmakers with Touch of Class. My brother is currently the owner. And we're from Sacramento. So we were born and raised. Well, actually, I was born in Phoenix, but we were raised in Sacramento. So Sacramento means a lot to us. The Touch of Class, it has a lot of history. It's a cornerstone in our community.
Yes.
It has a lot of memories for generation after generation after generation, a hub for the community come and feel like they're at home.
Love it.
Absolutely. It's always fun. If you haven't been, go comedy nights. And I also hear y'all stepping in the name of love on Thursday nights.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So if you are looking for a little bit of exercise, you want to learn the newest urban line dances, come on out Thursday nights, 9:00. There is no cover for the ladies before 10:30. And they've also included karaoke in that now as well. So you can come get your exercise on. You can grab something good to eat, have a drink, and sing your favorite song.
Y'all heard it.
There you
Let's
go.
get
They
to
have
getting,
incorporated
get to
singing. We're going to be singing at the Touch of Class. I love it. Yes.
Yes.
Beautiful thing. And so, what I wanted to know a little bit, though, before we move on to the financial services topic, is running a business is a lot like being a financial services professional. In how many ways? Like, how many ways do you take risks from running a business there and the risk of managing a book of clients?
Correct.
We have to manage every single person that steps in that door.
Yes.
It is an outlet. So I have to adjust to different personalities.
Absolutely.
I don't know what people are dealing with at home.
Yes.
So our job is to come create an environment for them to escape whatever it is that they're dealing with at home.
Correct.
Whether it's stress about finances, kids, schools, husbands, wives, and we want to create an experience and a culture to where they feel comfortable and can actually have a moment to relax.
Yes, and that is the truth. That is exactly the truth. When you go there, you are welcome. Like you said, the food is good, the atmosphere is good, and they're always smiling at the Touch of Class. So,
I love it. So, tell us a little bit about the name of your financial services company, how long you've been operating, and what's your favorite thing about it?
So my organization is called Sincere Unique Solutions, and that name actually came from my daughter, her name is Unique, and my godson, whose name is Sincere, and he actually was murdered here in Sacramento. And so to me, their names already had their own definition and a lot of power. So it only seemed fit for me to name my business after them.
I love it. Shout out to Unique.
yeah.
Rest in peace, Sincere.
Right, rest in peace.
Condolences. But this is great. So then you came up with this great concept for a name, and then you got started working in the business. I'm sure it takes some time to complete your insurance license in whatever states that you're licensed in right now. It could be multiple. But how was that journey leading up to today?
I am actually now licensed in 5 states.
Good.
Which I am proud of. It's definitely a decision. It's a pivot. This business opportunity has been presented to me 3 times in my life. And previously I didn't want to think about it. I didn't want to look at it, but the timing, it just made sense. It made sense. Pandemic was coming to an end. Business at the bar was a little slow. I needed to make some extra money. I was looking at possibly finding a regular job and going to work for someone else, which I dread. And so I had to look at myself and ask, do I want something more? The financial industry is proven to be the largest paid industry. It produces the most millionaires. And so even though it wasn't really about the money, it was about what the money can help me do for my family and my community.
Right.
Yes.
And I love what you said earlier when you said it was presented to you several times before. But now it's your time, right?
Absolutely.
And I bet now you didn't jump on it before because it just wasn't the time. But I know now, I hear you saying, and I resonate with you because I know that you've taken this step forward in faith, and all the pieces are falling together, put together. So I get that. That inspires me.
Thank you.
That inspires me to hear that. Yes, absolutely. Go ahead.
It's definitely challenging because you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. I didn't have any history in the financial business. But when you get with a company and organization where they're going to teach you, and we have amazing leaders, and they're going to show you everything that you need to know to be successful, and all I have to do is get out here and educate my community,
right?
Because our people need to know this information. It's life-changing information. There's things that I learned, and I'm 49 years old.
See?
In the last 2 years that I didn't know. But if only I would have known, my daughter would have already been set. I wouldn't have to struggle to get her through college. I now know, so I have my plans in place for my grandkids, so my daughter don't have to go to the same stresses financially that I did.
Right.
So it is about building legacy,
Absolutely.
right? And I love what you said, that it's not necessarily about the money, but what you're describing is it is about the wealth. In the wealth generation. And wealth doesn't always include just the money. The wealth comes when you are laying in your final bed and how many people are around supporting you to the end. That's your true wealth. And as you build that with great experiences. So.
And I also heard you say you working smart and not hard, because you did that already.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Approaching 50, baby. That's them golden years. What you say, we just want to be cute. Yes.
So, Ms. Atiya, we work, a large part of our audience are expecting fathers and expecting mothers. People are just getting ready to have a baby.
Yes.
And through our doula care services, we're working with a lot of these couples. What advice do you give to young couples that maybe have a child under 1 year old and, they're trying to plan his future early?
Yes.
Don't wait. You can get a policy on your child as early as 14 days old. And what people don't realize is you want to get that policy immediately because God forbid you have that 1 year checkup and they diagnose them with ADHD or autism, and then that can prevent them from actually getting policies. So you want to get them as soon as possible. They're young and it's very, very affordable.
That makes sense. Now, what advice do you have for older, seniors, maybe 60, 70 years old? Is it too late for them to get a policy? And then, because a lot of times you run across individuals that don't have the finances to pay to, and just not educated of what a life insurance policy. Some people just think, the old school say, oh, you're not going to do that. That's going to, that you trying to put me in the grave early, not knowing it has so many more aspects to it than just burial.
Right.
So
that's a great question. So ultimately, we want to secure our policies when we're young and we're healthier. That's when they are going to be the most affordable.
Correct.
So there are 2 different types of policy. There's a term policy and there's a permanent policy. A term policy will expire, and they're typically 10, 15, 25, 30 years. A permanent policy is going to be in place for the duration of your lifespan.
Makes sense.
And there may be a whole life, there may be an index universal life. And then for the elderly, if they didn't have anything in place, there's final expense policies that will just give your loved ones enough to cover your burial. So yes, it can be pricey, but because I'm a non-captive agent, I have access to over 30 plus providers. So there's no one size fits all. So we do everything on a case by case basis.
Makes sense.
So I sit down with you. We do a complimentary financial needs analysis. We find out what it is that you are trying to achieve. And then I pair you with the right company that's going to allow you to achieve that. We don't take any money from our clients. We just connect you with the right company, and then each company, they have a marketing division, and then that's how we get paid on the back end from the company.
Okay, that's good. All right, that's so helpful. Like I said, African Americans, when it comes down to that, I remember growing up, and I think it was American National, when they used to come knocking on your door collecting them premiums, and that doesn't happen anymore. And so I know I was talking to my neighbors in the back. There's 3 elderly. We were talking about that. She remembers when American National would come knocking on the door, but now she was saying, that's why I asked, well, she just can't afford it because they want to do the automatic payments, and she's not familiar with that. So I said I was going to work with her, get her signed up and try to work with her, but now I guess I can just possibly connect her with you because I don't know anything about life insurance in that way. And I know she was saying some individuals were calling her, but she wasn't okay with the rates they were trying to push her into. And I think she was saying they wanted her to pay like almost $200 for about $10,000. And I was like, ooh, I don't know if that's a com. I don't know if that doesn't sound right to me. So
it depends because, again, it's a case-by-case scenario. So if you are older and you do have health issues and you have medications, that will increase your cost of insurance. That's why it's so detrimental that we get it while we're young. And again, there are final expense policies that will just cover your burial. But I can't say, okay, this is how much it's going to cost.
Sure.
Because your cost of insurance is going to be totally different from his.
Sure.
It also makes a difference if you're male and female.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That makes a huge difference.
Right.
But again, we do have access to over 30 plus providers.
Okay.
So typically I am able to find something for someone and work within your budget.
All right, because it's important to have. That's just the bottom line. It's important to have, yes.
And when my children were coming up, it was the Gerber insurance agent that used to come out, and they would come out and with these neat little packages of how you can get up to 25,000 in life insurance at that point. But because they came in and door-to-door salesmen, they become unpopular as you start to become hustled by some of those salesmen. So I think the reason why I didn't get it at that time is because I kind of lost trust for the actual salesperson in general. And knowing that insurance and financial professionals have to be good at being able to build relationships with the customers so they can be buyers instead of that agent being a seller. Like, how do you work that type of balance, and how has that changed now that everybody is going digital?
Yes.
So the one thing is that we have to kind of move with times.
Yes.
So right now we are the fastest growing fintech company out there. So we did merge with technology to make things work a little faster. But as far as the trust, there were some agents out there that may have left a bad taste in someone's mouth.
Yeah.
But again, it's building that relationship.
Absolutely.
I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here to show you your options. I'm here to show you something that can potentially change you and your family's whole trajectory. And then at that point, I'm checking on you every year. I'm not writing you a policy and leaving it at your door and you never hear from me again. I'm checking on you regularly. I'm making sure that you're good. If there's a new kid coming up, we want to make sure that the kid is properly protected as well, because we tend to only associate life insurance with a death benefit.
Absolutely.
We don't realize that for hundreds of years now, the wealthy, this is how they create the generational wealth. This is how they build the legacies. This is how they create cash accumulation. This is how they build the family banks through strategies and vehicles that are attached to the life insurance policy.
So, and that's a great segue
Absolutely.
into the popular vehicles that are out there. So what are the most popular vehicles for people that are trying to build wealth and trying to leave a legacy for their family?
Again, it's a case-by-case scenarios, but again, you have a term life, you have a whole life. Whole lives, there's some amazing whole life policies out there. There's universal life. And then the big one that a lot of people you see on TikTok and everything, it's the IUL, and that stands for Index Universal Life Policy. And if these vehicles are properly structured and properly funded, it can create infinite banking where you can become your own family bank. It can create a retirement plan where you can build a tax-free retirement. It can become a college plan for your children or your grandchildren. But again, it does have to do with you trusting the agent and that agent being 100% transparent with you and putting you in a product that fits your needs. I'm not going to just put you in a product and you really can't afford it. That's why we offer the complimentary financial analysis. The number one thing we want to do is we want to make sure that people understand that there's new policies. So they come with what we call living benefits or income protection. Because if you weren't able to go to work tomorrow because you happen to have a stroke, what will happen to your household?
Right.
So there's new policies where you can actually accelerate a portion of that death benefit to utilize to replace your income while you're going through treatment and rehab. Because most people, that's when the debt occurs. That's when people start losing their homes. That's when the cars start getting repossessed. So my number one goal is to share the education, share the information.
Right. It makes sense to me. Okay. And that's the one thing about, us as a people, we are not financially educated. We consume a lot, but don't know how to invest or don't trust to invest.
Right.
So, but as you get older, you get educated, you learn. So you're supposed to learn. So appreciate that.
In our realm, United and Guided is involved in healthcare and health reform. So when you hear the term financial health, what does it mean to you? And I know you've talked about a lot of those topics leading to it, but I'm interested in what you think about it.
Great question. Financial health starts with the basic, just knowing how to budget. Most people don't know how to budget. Are you putting away your nest egg? Are you putting away 10%? Are you paying yourself first before you pay all your bills? Are you making sure that you have an emergency fund? Because what happens is we get so caught up in the credit cards and the swiping the credit cards and paying the interest out to someone. So it's the basic thing is budgeting, taking a minute, sitting down, writing out every single bill. The Netflix, the Peacock, the Hulu, the DoorDash, whatever the case may be, and then comparing it. We were taught you're not supposed to live above your means, but the average person, we are doing the total opposite. That's why our community is not getting ahead.
That's truth. And I totally agree with it. Knowledge is power. Again, I'll keep saying knowledge is power. You hear the queen, knowledge is power.
There's a statistic out there that says that we proportionately have the same amount of wealth as we did in the Jim Crow era.
Isn't that something?
Post-slavery.
I really believe it.
So that incrementally people have grown and their wealth has changed and risen. Ours has pretty much stayed the same, if not decreased over all this time. So I think that, there's a lot to be said in the insurance industry and how people utilize their insurance to help build their wealth. And like a lot of the things you mentioned, protecting themselves, maybe saving for retirement, or just maybe protecting your children with that death benefit after you go.
Absolutely. We tend to have a scarcity mindset. We're closed-minded. So we have to be able to open our minds and our ideas and accept that we don't know it all. So maybe this person can teach me something, or maybe this person can teach me something. Our parents and our grandparents, they did the best that they
Please
could
say that.
with the knowledge that they had.
Please say that.
So on average, they were just get a policy to protect your life.
Right.
They weren't saying get a policy to build generational wealth.
Right.
Walt Disney created Disneyland using money from a cash value life
Yeah, see
insurance
there?
policy.
That was not
J.C.
taught.
Penney's, Pamper Chef. And this information is not taught in school. You got to open a book. And then what do they say?
Yep.
Put it in a book.
Yep.
Right.
We got to open our minds, and we have to read more, and we have to educate ourselves more, and we have to be willing to get out there and share this information with everyone else.
I love it. Very wise words.
Absolutely.
Before we wrap up today,
Yes.
who's your big shout outs? Why don't you
Yes.
tell it to our audience out there?
Who we shouting out? We are shouting out Sacramento. We are shouting out GFI. We are shouting out Infinite Hope. We are shouting out Playmakers A Touch of Class.
Yes,
Yes, all of that. You heard all of that.
I love it. And also,
Yes.
Miss Unique and Mr. Sincere, may you rest in peace.
yes.
Miss Atiya Hempstead, who's a great addition to our family here at the Papa Bear Show. I want to thank you for being a part of our show, and I hope you come back again to drop some more jewels on us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, and I look forward to coming back.
All right. Hey, there we are, Sacramento. Another edition of the Papa Bear Show. I'm Imani Lucas. I'm here with Shania Breeze, the beautiful Miss Atiya Hempstead. Yo, we did financial services big, and we out. Peace.